Hi everyone, thank you guys for tuning in today to the NAACP Chicago's Westside branch, our show Poetic Just Us. I'm going to be your host, Jamesia Banks, and I'm just going to give you our information. We are the Chicago Westside branch NAACP. We are located at 5820 West Chicago Avenue, Chicago, Illinois, 60651. If you'd like to contact us, our phone number is 773-261-5890. So today's discussion is going to be about Black art matters and why does it matter, why is it important, and why is it great representation. So an important note to make is that modern African American art began way long ago. We wouldn't even consider it modern. As early as back as slavery, African Americans were crafting pieces such as iron pieces, quilts, baskets, cabinets, and these were very utmost craftsmanship. So African Americans, the African American population became quite skilled in the area of art. What's even more important to note is that the erasure of blacks and other minority cultures from art history has been demonstrated through lack of presence in major auctions, museums, textbooks, galleries, history, anything. It's like an erasure. It encompasses not only an absence of minority figures in itself, but just black people in general. In numerous cases, black figures in art have been repainted to depict more fairer-skinned people or light-skinned or white people. And they were actually removed from paintings during restoration. So if black people were painted, they were removed after restoration, so you wouldn't be able to see them. Also, it's incredibly important to note that black people know their history. They need to understand their worth and to truly comprehend the depth of their contributions. So if we just erased all of history and art tells what's going on in time, then it's quite impossible to look back and learn from things that has happened. So in the United States, where we are at, it is not uncommon for textbooks to leave out important history, including art, because art tells history in picture form. And they also like to forget about how many black low-income and disabled people were used in inhumane medical experiments for science to study effects on various diseases and harmful substances. So many educational institutions, black art and artists were not seen as important enough to the progression of art, so they were completely erased. So today, I want to pay homage to a lot of our ancestors that we have knowledge of, because slavery only interrupted black history. It did not start black history, and we still created history while slavery was going on. So we will start off by talking about this lady, Miss Augusta Savage. So Miss Augusta Savage was a gifted sculptor. She was born in Florida. And she fought poverty, racism, and sexism to become a prominent figure in the Harlem Renaissance. And the Harlem Renaissance was basically a period of African American culture outpouring in New York City during the 1920s and 30s. She worked with plaster, and to make her plaster look more like her, she would then paint them bronze of a gold color. She was best known for her sensitive and skillful modeling of the human figure. She was also an activist for equal rights for blacks in art. She was also a teacher whose studio was important to the careers of generations of artists who would become nationally known. So she helped a lot of black artists come out and be known. And in 1934, she became the first African American artist to be elected to the National Association of Women Painters and Sculptors. She then launched the Savage Studio of Arts and Crafts, and that was located in the basement of West 143rd Street in Harlem. Her school then has evolved into the Harlem Community Art Center. The Augustus Fell Savage Institute of Visual Arts, a Baltimore, Maryland public high school, is named after her in her honor for her legacy. And these are a couple of the sculptures that she did. The biggest painting that we see right now is called The Harp, and it's inspired by Lift Every Voice and Sing. She actually had it in a galleria, and the galleria was lasted about a week long, couple days. And at the end of the galleria, it was destroyed by people that couldn't tolerate to see this work of art. But as you can see in the bottom right hand, she was working with plaster, but she painted in bronze. This was just to help re-put Black people in history and art, because at this time, making these type of sculptures, these were you can consider to be heinous or illegal. You know, this people they were not ready for this truth. Our next person we will talk about is going to be Edmonia Lewis. So Edmonia Lewis, she's the first woman of African American and Native American heritage to achieve international fame and recognition as a sculptor in the fine arts world. She began to gain prominence in the United States during the American Civil War, and at the end of the 19th century, she remained the only Black woman who had participated and been recognized to any degree by the American artistic mainstream. Lewis continued to express her African American Native heritage. One of more of her favorite works was called Forever Free, and that depicted a powerful image of an African American man and a woman emerging from the bonds of slavery. Another sculpture Lewis created was called the Arrow Maker, which showed a Native American father teaching his daughter how to make an arrow. So she was just very prominent for showing, you know, the Black and Native American culture where we were basically being erased. But she is known most for her incorporating things relating to Black people and indigenous people of the Americas in neoclassic style sculpture. So on the left is where you see her Forever Free sculpture. And this is just man and woman emerging from slavery. This was very a big deal, you know, because slavery was just getting rid of. She was born from a slave, actually. So she was born a free woman, and her father was a slave, and her mother was Native American. So basically, yes, enslaved in the United States of America. So next we have the great James Van Der Zee. Now, James Van Der Zee is an African American photographer that was best known for his portraits of Black New Yorkers. He was a leading figure in the Harlem Renaissance, so he was definitely taking pictures of the great times that Black people brought to New York. In 1969, Van Der Zee gained worldwide recognition when his work was featured in the exhibition Harlem on My Mind at the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York. Van Der Zee, he made his first photographs as a boy in Lenox, Massachusetts. He bought his first camera when he was a teenager and improvised a dark room in his parents' home. In the summer of 1924, Van Der Zee worked to document the members and activities of Marcus Garvey's Universal Negro Improvement Association. He took thousands of photographs on this assignment, and some of them were featured in a calendar issued to the members in 1925. Basically, Marcus Garvey wanted Van Der Zee to protect a positive image of the association, especially to emphasize the strength and social standing of the membership. Now, nowhere in Van Der Zee's visual work were there any hint of controversy surrounding Garvey's in the early 1920s, a period where the leader was subject to public interrogation. So basically, Garvey was protected by James Van Der Zee because James Van Der Zee put a good representation of Marcus Garvey out there. And that's why it's so very important for Blacks to have positive representation, because that can definitely carry you a long way. One of the things that recurred in James Van Der Zee's photographs was that he took photos of emerging Black middle class. So this was important because that captured traditional techniques and often idealistic images. So these were images that were not seen to be true. But since this was a photograph, this had to be true. Van Der Zee was picking up and showing the world that Black people created class and Black people created art. And this is just a reinforcement of the photos that he took. So that was his heart, was showing photos. These are some of the pictures that he took of, the Black emerging class. And these photos are so important, especially when you're a young Black girl and they're telling you that you're dirty, your hair is never nice, you're never going to be well classed or well poised, because you can never be that way. And once you see someone that looks like you and you see them sitting so elegantly, it can give you a positive hope in your mind, positive thoughts. So it's just very important that we be accounted for and that we understand that Black art definitely matters. So the idea of altering history definitely goes beyond simply ignoring the present, simply destroying it, or acting like it never happened. It goes to making it seem like Black people never contributed to society. And that's kind of a smack in the face to Black people, because society wouldn't be the way it is if it was not for Black people. So in order for you to pay your dues and pay your homage, you have to understand why everything matters. And art tells a story of time and pictures. So when you're saying there was no Black people in this picture, are you saying that Black people just grew off the trees and just sprouted up and came out of nowhere? Because that would be historically inaccurate to not have any Black people in your picture. That has to be completely inaccurate. So today we just wanted to pay homage to some of the Black artists that we know. And that's why it's important that we pay homage to the Black artists that are alive today. And make sure that we support the independent films. Make sure we support our museum, our art shows. Make sure we support any type of Black media that we have, because art is media now. And before we go too far, we have a caller.
Yeah, my name is James. Okay, now, can you hear me?
A bit. I cannot really hear you. I'm sorry.
Okay, my name is James. Okay,
Hey.
what I'm trying to say to y'all now they talk about they going after people in the Black community. What if God go after them and they don't like what they doing? Hello?
Your question is if...
Okay, now what I'm trying to say, now if the police talk about they going after other people in the Black neighborhood, what if God go after them? And then what if he don't like what they doing?
Right, so basically you're saying is like the police are coming to Black neighborhoods and terrorizing us, and what if we went to their neighborhoods and terrorized them?
Okay, what I'm trying to say, now, if they talking about they always get in front of the media and say they're just going to do this and that. Now, if they talking about they going out to Black neighborhood, now what if God go after them? Well, he don't like what they doing.
Right, God, what if God goes after everyone?
Yeah. Okay, what I'm trying to say now, if they talk about they don't like what the Black people doing in their neighborhood, and then what if God don't like what they doing, all this cover up and all this and then special treatment.
Right. So, I guess what I'm taking from the question is, why are we being terrorized in our neighborhood? And if we were to go to their neighborhood, it will make it seem like, Black people are just terrorizing the city and they're fools. They can't do anything. They have to always mess up someone else's stuff, the way that we are portrayed on the news. That does go into the conversation, because it's all about how we are represented. And if we are represented poorly, yes, they're going to believe the media. People that watch the media and they're very brainwashed by the media, they're going to believe that, Black people, they have no reason to be upset. They have no reason to be mad. They have no reason to come to our communities and destroy anything. They have no reason to do this and that. But you're not even giving us credit due when it comes to what we have done. So that could be quite upsetting, especially when you're painting a picture that we haven't did anything, that we just do not contribute to society in any type of way. So it may not be good, but that's where we are here now, and that's why I'm here preaching and just trying to make a better look for Black people in general in media, because I am a Black woman and I have been through Black things and I know how it goes. But that's exactly why we need to have very great positive media representation. And on that note, I do have a couple of announcements to give to you guys. So I want to do that very fast. Let me get to it. So first announcement is that we will be having an open discussion about how to keep the children safe this summer, because we're all about the positive representation. So for an open discussion, it will be hosted. Well, it was hosted yesterday, and we did talk about everything. I thought it was going to be a new one. Let's move on. So we have the Mental Health Awareness Month. May is Mental Health Awareness Month. Our next event will be on May 31st. It will be from 8:30 a.m. until 5 p.m. And that's basically going to be an all-day mental health first aid training at the Westside Community Triage and Wellness Center. That is located at 415 South Kilpatrick Avenue in Chicago, Illinois, 60644. We do have a website you guys can visit. It is habitative.org, habitative.org. And this is where we're just having another open discussion to talk about mental health and how it's very important, especially in the Black community. That is something that we do not take serious, and we definitely need to take this very seriously, considering that the fact that most of us still suffer from post-traumatic slave disorder. So our next training and open discussion will be on May 31st from 8:30 to 5 p.m. This is an all-day event. Please stop by. All right, so this is another type of mental health open discussion we're having, but this is more so with taking the second calls if you have suffered from any violence, abuse, or trauma. We're going to be joining the Chicago Police Department, Austin Community Mental Health Professionals. It's going to be a two-part discussion discussing how we should respond to trauma, and we need as much input we can to help shape a plan to address Chicago youth and exposure to traumatic incidents. The first one will take place on Tuesday, June 4th. This is 1 hour from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. And this is going to be at 5730 West Roosevelt Road, Chicago, Illinois. And that is at night. Our next day session will be Tuesday, June 11th from 1:30 to 2:30 p.m. That's also an hour. And this one will be located at 5701 West Madison Street, Chicago, Illinois. We would love for you guys to come out and definitely talk to us. We are definitely trying to make plans to help the youth deal with post-traumatic stress and how to respond. You know, growing up in Chicago, that can be a tough life. So we are definitely trying to make plans to help our youth. Another way we're trying to help our youth out, or help anyone out right now moving forward with life, is to help expunge criminal records. I know being Black in America can be hard. You get caught up in some things and you have some stuff in your record, some stuff that is way past due and you're just trying to get past it. If you're looking for more information on that, we are having a second chance adult and juvenile expungement summit. This is going to be on Saturday, June 1st at Westinghouse College Prep. That is a high school on 3223 West Franklin Road. This time, if you guys would like to come, you have to register in advance. And this is only to help us out so we can know what we're dealing with once we see you, and we can make everything move faster. So you guys can go to cookcountyclerkofcourt.org/second chance to get everything ready and registered. And definitely come check us out on June 1st. We are trying to get the community together, and if we have to start off by expunging criminal records, that's what we will do. Just come out. We also will have a fatherhood in the neighborhood party. This is just going to be a get-together where we are celebrating fathers. This is going to take place on June 1st as well, from 1 to 5 p.m. Now this may be right up some people's alleys because, you know, we will have free food, you get haircuts, conversations, life and skill building information. So any fathers that you know you want to come celebrate for Father's Day, definitely come out here. Again, it's going to be at 2813 and 15 West 5th Avenue, Chicago, Illinois, 60612. And while we were talking about mental health, we definitely want to talk about Men's Health Summit. And it's going to be a construction job fair. So men, definitely come out to this. We will have this on Thursday, June 13th from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. at Kennedy King College on the south side. This is going to be at 6301 South Halsted Street, Chicago, Illinois. And definitely just come out to network, meet new people. If you're looking for a job, especially if you work in construction, any carpentry, come out and check us out. We would definitely love to see you. So now that I rolled through with all of these announcements, I just want to make it very clear that I have enjoyed you guys checking us out and making sure you tune in every Friday at 6 p.m. And let me make sure to give you our information. We are the Chicago Westside Branch NAACP. And guess what? You guys have been cordially invited to our next general body meeting, which will be Saturday, June 1st at 1 p.m. Our meetings are located at 5820 West Chicago Avenue, Chicago, Illinois, 60651. If you have any questions or concerns before you get there, our phone number is 773-261-5890. And I want to thank you so much for tuning in on this lovely Friday night. We will be back next Friday at 6 p.m. hosting Poetic Justice. And have a great day. Bye-bye.